Hello, everyone. This is Ray Gessner with our podcast episode number 7, January 14th, called Soot to Success. And on our podcast today, we have Byron Schramm from Midtown Chimney Sweeps. It's a nationwide franchise of chimney sweeps and one of the biggest in the country. So, Byron, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. It's great to be here, Ray.
So tell me about Midtown Chimney Sweeps.
Yeah, so Midtown Chimney Sweeps started by my father, 1979, franchised in 2014 in 10 states. We have about 10 to 15 different owners in the 10 to 15 different cities we operate in. It's a franchise model. I'm the owner of the brand, but I'm also a franchise owner. So I get to stay close to the chimneys in my community right in the Denver suburbs.
Awesome. It sounds like you're kind of double dipping, and you're helping out other franchisees and you're doing it yourself and leading by example. That's awesome.
Yeah. Thank you.
I heard a rumor you got a training program going on. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. We believe some of the American chimney sweep certifications lack the oomph that other first world nations have when they care for their chimneys in Central Europe and England. And so we returned and realized how even our own country didn't have good enough stuff, I didn't feel. So we've taken some steps to start moving towards a certification process in-house that is maybe a little more oomph than kind of what's available to the chimney sweeps right now.
Awesome. That sounds great. I tell you what, I'm a pretty big internet guy. I mean, chimneysweep.com and chimneysweeps.com, and I've kind of been doing a lot of SEO and things like that, and you're all over the place. It's Midtown Sweeps is like, it ranks really high. So I'm just going to give you credit on that. And that's nice.
Good. Well, we got a good team, and I appreciate that.
It was good to have you come down and visit in Tampa and play some tennis and things like that. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I tell you, you've got a beautiful place in Florida. It's just, the weather is so remarkable, the palm trees. It's a great place to be on a visit from a cold place like Denver. Right now I'm sitting next to my Vermont Castings freestanding wood stove, the beautiful Majolica brown, the firelight dancing through there, puppies sleeping right here next to my feet, and I'm looking out the window at these snow-covered slopes and kind of wishing I had a palm tree in the middle of winter for a few weeks. It'd be nice.
I heard you just bought a new house. Is that right?
We did, yeah. Our family relocated just about a mile from where we were, and so it's great to be in the world of home ownership now.
That's wonderful to hear. How has the franchise thing been going? I mean, you started in 2014, and compared to any other franchise I've ever heard of, I think yours is blowing the doors away on everybody. That's a testament. I can tell you that.
Oh, well, thank you. Yeah, franchising is an interesting concept of growth. It's used by founders in different tools, different ways. In our case, I think we realize we're really concerned about quality in a space that is fire safety. So we have to keep a really tight control on franchise owners. This isn't just a license that you buy and go operate your own business. Good luck. Go get a certification. We actually control our own certification, we control our own training program, and we tightly monitor our franchise owners. We require them to do certain things on every single work order and invoice and signatures and digitize. And, it's just, as you can appreciate being in the industry for all these years yourself, we are in the business of fire safety, and we've got to keep a tight line on ourselves. It's not just go make money, buy a franchise, and go make money doing chimney sweeping. It's so that's why we've only grown probably to the level of 10, whereas other brands like a pizza franchise, whatever, they would want to be at 200, 300 units by now, and we're still in that low teens number. But that's just because of our desire for control of quality. Quality
over quantity.
Yeah. For right now, that's where it lines up for us. So
you are on my it's the 7th episode of this podcast, and the funny thing is that we've been using AI for to generating podcasts, and so I've been using AI for quite a while. I opened up a company about a year ago called AI Experts, and I have my phones answered by AI. If they can schedule a job and book a job, and
You mean for your chimney sweep business?
Yeah,
So like your chimney in Virginia Beach. So if I were to call that number, I could actually possibly be talking to an AI robot. Would I know I'm talking to an AI robot?
You probably would, because it says, "Hi, I'm Emily. I'm an AI assistant. How can I help you today?" And so it's pretty good. But
Man.
I also have people who monitor it. There are people who monitor these calls, and then that way, if the AI does a glitch, they'll call them back or text them or do something almost immediately, and they'll say, "Hey, you're experiencing a problem. The AI doesn't know how to answer it. Here's your answer to your problem."
Oh my goodness!
It is cost effective. I mean, it is so cost effective. It's like dirt cheap.
Yeah.
I think in my days, the highest profit margin I was ever running, it was like around 15% of gross. And I think last year our profit margin was 30% of gross. The difference in the profits, it's all based on efficiency. So anyway,
Gotcha.
I'd love to test you. It's Midtown Chimney Sweeps and a step in time. It's kind of like AI Fight Club.
Really?
How it works. Yeah, how it works.
Okay, let's do it. So how's this going to work? You're going to test it like with AI? You're going to put your robot on it and like have them like read our websites or something?
Yep. I'm going to put your website into it. I'm going to put my website into it, and I'm going to let them do the talking. So let's try it out right now.
All right. So today we're going to be talking about something kind of different, something you might not think about a lot.
Okay.
Chimney sweeps.
All right.
Yeah, chimney sweeps. But I mean, we're not talking about, Dick Van Dyke and Mary Poppins.
Right.
We're talking about like actual chimney sweep companies.
Yeah.
The kind that you might actually hire to come to your house.
Yeah.
And we've got two companies here that we're looking at, A Step in Time and Midtown Chimney Sweeps.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah. And so we're kind of going to do a deep dive into their websites and see what we can learn about these businesses.
Yeah, it's amazing what you can find out about a business just from how they present themselves online.
Oh, totally. And, one of the first things I noticed on both of their websites is they both talk a lot about inspections and cleaning and repairs.
Right.
But what I thought was interesting was A Step in Time specifically mentions the National Fire Protection Association.
Okay.
They even talk about different levels of inspections.
Huh.
What's the significance of that?
Well, I think it shows that they're really trying to align themselves with industry standards and best practices when it comes to safety.
Okay.
And, those different levels of inspections are really important because they go beyond just, like a visual check.
Right.
They might involve, specialized cameras or even actually physically going inside the chimney to assess its structural integrity.
Wow. So it's not just like sweeping away a little bit of soot.
Right.
There's like a whole technical side to it.
Oh, absolutely.
Huh.
A chimney is responsible for venting dangerous combustion byproducts, and if it's not properly maintained, you're looking at potential fire hazards, carbon monoxide buildup, even structural damage to your home.
Yeah, see, this is what I love about these deep dives.
Mm-hmm.
You start with something familiar, like a chimney, and suddenly you realize there's this whole world of complexity that you never even considered.
It's like peeling back the layers of an onion.
Right.
Speaking of layers, both of these companies offer a surprisingly wide range of services. We're talking dryer, vent cleaning, wood stove installation.
Oh, wow.
A Step in Time even mentions structural engineering inspections.
Wait, structural engineering inspections?
Yeah.
That seems like a pretty big leap from chimney sweeping.
It does, doesn't it? But if you think about it, a chimney is integrated into the structure of your house.
Right.
So if there's a problem with the chimney, it could indicate a bigger issue with the roof, the foundation, the overall stability of the building.
So these chimney sweeps are kind of like home detectives.
Yeah.
Spotting clues that could reveal hidden problems.
That's a great way to put it. They have a unique perspective on a critical part of your home's infrastructure.
Right.
And that expertise is often front and center on their websites.
Okay.
Take the Our Team sections, for example.
Okay.
A Step in Time features photos and bios of individual team members, while Midtown Chimney Sweeps opts for a more general overview.
Interesting. So it's like two different approaches to building trust with potential customers.
Exactly. A Step in Time is saying, hey, meet the people who might be coming into your home. They're experienced, they're friendly, they're here to help.
Right.
Midtown Chimney Sweeps, on the other hand, might be emphasizing the strength of their brand and their collective expertise as a company.
So as a customer, You're kind of choosing between connecting with individuals versus trusting a larger entity.
Yeah.
Kind of like deciding between a local mom and pop shop versus a national chain store.
It's a great analogy, and that distinction might even tie into their business models.
How so?
Well, A Step in Time appears to be a single locally owned business,
Okay.
while Midtown Chimney Sweeps presents itself as a franchise opportunity.
The franchise angle.
Yeah.
That has a whole other layer to the mix. But before we get into that, let's zoom back in on A Step in Time for a second.
Okay.
Their founder, Ray Gessner, has some seriously impressive credentials, degrees in civil engineering professional licenses, even experience as an expert witness in court.
Wow.
What do you make of that?
Well, it certainly suggests a deep understanding of structural principles and building codes.
Okay.
And that's especially relevant when you consider they offer structural engineering inspections as part of their services.
So it's not just marketing hype.
Right.
This guy actually has the expertise to back it up.
Exactly. And that could be a major selling point for customers.
Yeah.
Would you feel more confident hiring a chimney sweep company knowing that the founder has that level of engineering expertise?
I think I would. It's like, even if he's not personally inspecting my chimney, he's set the standard for the company's approach to safety and problem solving.
It's all about establishing credibility and trust. Now let's flip over to Midtown Chimney Sweeps and their franchise model.
Okay.
What do you think are the potential advantages and disadvantages for both the business owners and the customers?
I guess for a customer, the appeal of a franchise is you kind of know what you're going to get,
Yeah,
right? Like there's that consistency.
exactly. It's that brand recognition and the promise of standardized processes, you know? You're not just relying on the reputation of one local business. You're tapping into a larger network.
But then isn't there also that risk that a franchise might prioritize profits over quality?
Mm.
You know, like maybe they're cutting corners or not hiring the most experienced technicians just to boost their bottom line.
That's definitely a valid concern, and it highlights the importance of doing your research, you know?
Yeah.
Reading reviews and maybe even reaching out to multiple franchise locations to get a sense of their individual approaches.
Yeah, it's like anything else. There are good franchises, not so good ones.
Right.
Speaking of finding the right fit, I noticed that A Step in Time has a whole section on their website dedicated to customer testimonials.
Ah, yes, the power of social proof.
Yeah.
Testimonials can be incredibly effective because they offer a glimpse into the real-world experiences of other homeowners, you know?
Right.
It's like getting a recommendation from a friend or neighbor.
And these testimonials are pretty glowing.
Oh, yeah?
People are praising their professionalism, their attention to detail, even their friendly demeanor.
Nice.
One customer even called Ray Gessner a genuine, easygoing guy.
Huh.
And not exactly the stereotype of a stoic engineer.
That's funny. It's a great reminder that there are real people behind these businesses. And, you know, those personal connections can make a big difference in the customer experience.
Yeah, for sure. Midtown Chimney Sweeps doesn't have a testimonial section,
Okay.
but they do have a blog, which I thought was kind of interesting.
Oh, yeah. What's on their blog?
It's full of quirky stuff.
Really?
Like it's not just, dry technical articles about chimney maintenance.
Right.
They've got posts on the history of Santa coming down the chimney,
Yeah.
how to say chimney sweep in different languages.
Oh,
Even a piece on antique German chimney sweep tools.
that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's a clever way to engage potential customers on a different level.
Yeah.
They're not just presenting themselves as service providers.
Right.
They're positioning themselves as experts and enthusiasts
I like it.
with a passion for all things chimney related.
They're really leaning into the chimney sweep thing, huh?
Yeah, it's like they're saying, hey, we're not just here to clean your chimney. We're here to celebrate the history, the culture, the sheer coolness of chimneys.
And that can be a powerful way to build brand loyalty, you know, create a sense of community around their services.
Yeah.
It's almost like they're tapping into a shared nostalgia for the warmth and comfort that a fireplace represents.
Okay, so we've talked about safety services branding the human element,
Mm-hmm.
but there's one crucial aspect we haven't touched on yet: pricing.
Ah, yes, the bottom line. And this is where we see another interesting distinction between the two companies.
So A Step in Time actually lists specific prices for some of their services on their website.
Okay.
Like a level 1 chimney inspection for $59 or dryer vent cleaning for like $179 to $299.
Okay.
Midtown Chimney Sweeps, on the other hand, doesn't mention pricing at all.
Interesting. What do you think is the strategy behind that?
I don't know.
Well, A Step in Time's approach is all about transparency. You know, they're
Clar-
putting their prices out there up front. which can be appealing to customers who value clarity and want to avoid any surprises.
Yeah, makes sense.
It also allows them to highlight competitive pricing,
Right.
and potentially attract customers who are price sensitive.
Yeah. It's like, hey, look how affordable our services are. You can get peace of mind without breaking the bank.
Exactly. Midtown Chimney Sweeps, on the other hand, might be opting for a more personalized approach.
Oh.
By not listing prices on their website, they're signaling that they're willing to tailor their pricing to individual customer needs and the specific complexities of each job.
So maybe they offer free estimates.
Right.
Or their pricing takes into account factors like chimney height accessibility, the level of cleaning required.
Precisely. It allows for more flexibility and customization,
Yeah.
but it also puts the onus on the customer to reach out and initiate that conversation about pricing.
And for some customers, that might be a deterrent.
Yeah.
They might prefer the simplicity and transparency of seeing the prices up front, even if it's just a range.
Right.
It's like choosing between a fixed price menu and ordering a la carte.
Uh-huh.
Some people want to know exactly what they're getting into, while others are comfortable with a bit more ambiguity.
It's a matter of personal preference and perhaps a reflection of different customer segments.
So to our listener, which approach resonates more with you?
Yeah.
Do you appreciate the upfront transparency of listed prices? Or do you prefer the personalized flexibility of customized quotes?
Good question.
It's something to consider when choosing a chimney sweep company.
It's a great point, and it highlights how even seemingly mundane decisions, like how a company presents its pricing, can reveal deeper insights into their business philosophy and their target audience.
This whole deep dive has been like peeling back the layers of an onion.
It has, hasn't it?
We started with something as simple as chimney sweeping, and we've ended up exploring branding strategies, customer psychology, and now even the nuances of pricing models.
It's a testament to the interconnectedness of things,
Yeah.
and the fact that even the most familiar aspects of our lives can be full of surprises and complexities when we take the time to look a little closer.
And speaking of surprises, there's one more aspect of chimney sweeping that I think deserves our attention, the environmental impact.
Mm-hmm.
It's easy to get caught up in, the practicalities of hiring a chimney sweep, like finding someone reliable, making sure they do a good job, all that stuff. But
Right.
what about the environmental impact?
Mhm.
Is chimney sweeping like inherently eco-friendly, or are there things to consider there?
It's a great question, and one that I think more and more homeowners are starting to ask.
Yeah.
The environmental impact of chimney sweeping really depends on a few factors: the type of fuel you're burning, the cleaning methods used, even how the soot and debris are disposed of. All of these things kind of play a role.
So like burning wood in my fireplace is probably less eco-friendly than using gas, right?
Generally speaking, yes, wood burning does release more particulate matter and carbon emissions into the atmosphere, which contributes to air pollution and climate change.
Right.
But even with wood burning, there are ways to minimize the environmental impact.
Okay, so what can I do to make my fireplace a little bit greener?
Well, one of the most important things is to burn seasoned wood.
Right.
Green wood contains more moisture, which means it produces more smoke and releases more pollutants when burned.
So I need to make sure my firewood is like properly dried out before I toss it on the flames.
Exactly. And it's not just about the wood itself, it's about the entire burning process, making sure your fireplace is properly ventilated, using a fire screen to prevent sparks and embers from escaping, and even burning smaller fires can all help reduce emissions.
It's amazing how many little things can add up to make a difference.
Absolutely. And that's where the chimney sweep comes. And a certified chimney sweep who follows best practices for cleaning and disposal can help ensure that your fireplace is operating as efficiently and cleanly as possible.
Okay.
Some companies even offer eco-friendly cleaning methods like using HEPA-filtered vacuums to capture soot and dust, preventing those particles from being released back into the air.
So to our listener, if you're concerned about the environmental impact of your fireplace, it's worth asking your chimney sweep about their practices.
Definitely.
Do they use HEPA-filtered vacuums? How do they dispose of the soot and debris? Those are all good questions to ask.
It's a great example of how even seemingly mundane decisions, like who you hire to clean your chimney, can be aligned with your values and your commitment to environmental responsibility.
It's been fascinating to see how this whole deep dive into chimney sweep companies has gone way beyond just the practicalities. We've touched on branding, consumer psychology, and now even environmental sustainability.
It's a reminder that every industry, every service, every choice we make is connected to a wider web of issues and impacts. And as consumers, it's more important than ever to be informed and make conscious decisions that align with our values.
So to our listener, we hope this deep dive has left you with a newfound appreciation for the complexities of chimney sweeping, and maybe even inspired you to take a closer look at your own fireplace and the choices you make around its use and maintenance.
After all, knowledge is power, and when it comes to something as important as the safety, efficiency, and environmental impact of your home, a little bit of knowledge can go a long way.
Well said. And on that note, we'll leave you with one final thought. When was the last time you had your chimney inspected?
Good question.
It might be time to give those chimney sweeps a call. Until next time, keep exploring, keep asking questions, and keep diving deep.
All right, we're back. What did you think about that?
Unbelievable. I could not believe the voices. There was a male, there was a female. They had the ahs, the ums. I listened to it with my family. They were shocked. They couldn't believe that was AI. Like for a second, I thought I could detect maybe something was a little off. But if I was just rumbling down the road listening to a podcast, I would have accepted that as two humans. I couldn't believe it.
Isn't that nuts? Let me tell you something I like doing with it. If the AI goes on our website, it's saying things that your website's saying. On your website, it talked about this quirky thing about the Santa and the chimney sweeps in different countries, how you say chimney sweep in different languages.
It
all
actually
that other stuff.
screened, to add to what you're saying, it must have screened and scrolled down, and it actually read some blog post types. Fascinating. Yeah, I noticed it even compared how your company prices compared to how my company prices, and it tried to guess why you disclosed your pricing, why Midtown does not disclose the pricing. It made some pretty good guesses. It didn't land on the singular reason why my company doesn't disclose pricing. Do you want to know why my company does not disclose pricing?
I'm interested. Tell me. Come on.
Yes, because we are in 10 different major metros across the country. So what that is regional variation of cost. So if you're near the Gunflint Road along the Canadian border, 2 hours north of Duluth, Minnesota, running along the Canadian border of the Great Lakes up there, we charge $600 for a chimney sweep, and people are happy to pay it because they can't get a chimney sweep to come up from Duluth. So that pricing is high. But when you're down in Denver, Colorado, our franchise owner there, we're at $299 for a sweep because we're in a competitive environment. And so it's basically regional sensitivity. And because they're different franchise owners, they know what things should cost there.
That's great. I've been programming these AI bots to kind of go into websites and find out different things that they're finding out about these companies. And it's interesting the things that they actually pull from them. It's exciting. I'm telling you that I can make a month of podcasts in probably 2 or 3 days. I mean, that's how easy it is.
Like a month of manual labor of researching a topic, scrolling through someone's website, trying to glean the thoughts, and then build up the interview time. Wow, that's unbelievable. Efficiency
in the making, I tell you that.
So I have one more insight.
Come visit Florida again.
Oh yes, well let me answer that question first. I think I should come visit you while it's still snowy in Denver. That's the bottom line. So.
That is a good time. I was telling you.
I have one more insight on the robot, if you have time.
Yeah.
So here's what I thought was very impactful. It's the second to last question in the AI bot interview with each other between our companies. They asked a general question: what's the environmental impact of chimney sweeping? And they kind of hinted around and guessed at things. And one of the things they landed on was proper efficiency of the appliance equals a positive environmental impact. And that is very true. And that's what we found in Germany. All the German chimney sweeps in Germany, Switzerland, Austria, they all have analyzers, combustion analyzers. And when they are at a gas appliance, they have a little port above the gas appliance, and they move the little port opening and they jam in a combustion analyzer. They turn the unit on, they run it for 5 minutes till it gets up to its peak efficiency, and they test the efficiency of the combustion. And if it's out of spec for that appliance, Then they close the little louver, and they say, you need service within 30 days. They give them the name and number, and another professional from the gas control agency will come and make the adjustments, the airflow, the air shutter, whatever, to dial it in so that that gas product is not emitting more sulfides and incomplete combustion. And so I wanted to compliment the AI for kind of guessing at that. But what I just gave you is the science of why chimney sweeping can be a part of the environmental impact. And
that's great.
The other follow-up thought, do I have a minute more? Otherwise, I can wait.
Tons of time.
Oh, okay. So they talked about wood burning versus gas. And what's the environmental impact of burning wood versus the environmental impact of burning gas, which, as you know, Ray, this is a hot topic across not only Europe, but here in the U.S. We saw it in the UK on the back of the red double-decker buses in London. Stop burning wood. We're all dying. I don't know if it said exactly those words, but that's basically what it was saying. And they have a very tough information problem to overcome in the UK around the concept of wood burning. It has a very bad stigma. They've tied it to coal, et cetera. So the AI bot, when they did the interview, they were technically accurate, which was fascinating, but they didn't specify the open style wood burning experience versus the closed high efficiency wood burning experience. So like when you and I go and purchase a new wood burning appliance for a customer on their behalf to install in their home, it has to be a high efficiency EPA phase 3 appliance, May of 2020. We had that new law roll in. We all had to have a very high efficient 2 grams or less of emissions for all new wood burning appliances. So they didn't quite get to that fine-tuned level, but I would say the AI bot's got the 80%, and then you and I can add in that final human touch of what our human experience through our knowledge has gained. Remarkable.
You know what's interesting about the EPA wood stoves, and I think they called it the Great American Wood Stove Changeout. So what I found out was that back in the 1970s and 1980s, early 1980s, everyone was slamming in these wood stoves.
You got it. Vermont Castings was leading the race. Yeah.
Yeah, they'd slam in the wood stove. And the funny thing is that they didn't change the liner of the chimney itself. So what happens is that the opening of the wood stove is smaller. The liner is still the same size, so that it decreases the draft. By it decreasing the draft, it creates a lot of creosote, and then all that creosote is coming up there, and I'm catching it's catching chimneys on fire. And so I think it was the insurance companies who came to NFPA and asked them, hey, why are all these chimney fires happening? And then the NFPA came to National Chimney Sweep Guild and said, hey, how come all these chimney fires are happening? And then I think the National Chimney Sweep Guild had researched it, and they figured out it's because they changed the opening of the fireplace, and the liner size is identical. Then it's drafting slower and causing fires. And so they said, how do we solve it? And they said, you solve it by taking a direct connect liner. They take the liner and run it up to the chimney. Our National Chimney Sweep Guild told everyone this, and they said, you're just trying to sell liners. But what we'll do is allow you to have it to the first flue tile. And then the National Chimney Sweep Guild told everybody, how do we clean this thing? And they said, that's your problem. But that's why the codes say only to the bottom lower of the liner and not all the way up to the top of the chimney. The chimney sweeps are smart enough that they know don't run it to the lower liner, run it all the way to the top of the chimney.
That's right. That's right. It's always best to go full length top to bottom and, keep those flue gases from slowing down and accumulating and depositing and subsequently catching on fire. Yeah, 100%.
So if you ever see a chimney that has flue gases coming out the top and it's clear, that means it's got complete combustion.
Complete combustion, yeah.
But if you see it and it's got smoke coming out the top of the chimney, then it's incomplete combustion and it's creating tons of creosote.
You got it. Yeah, get clean chimneys going.
So what else you got going on in your life? I know you're talking about coming down to Florida again. and you're definitely invited. You got anything else going on?
Well, just the chimney integrity device that we found and did interviews with the inventor at Wohler in Bad Wunenberg, Germany. And so we're just doing some basic tests on that on some chimneys around the country. And I think it's shipping out to Michigan here in a couple weeks from Denver for a certified chimney sweep with about 30 years of experience. He's going to start testing the chimney integrity device up in Michigan on some chimneys there, trying to develop a normal baseline leakage rate, a permissible leakage rate on a healthy flue, which no one has done in the U.S. So we hope to produce a white paper on that later in 2025 and be able to share that with the industry and see how this pressure testing device might be useful for testing American
leakage
chimneys.
Rate. Interesting. Leakage rate, so what is it a leakage rate of exactly?
Well, leakage rate of, great question, Ray. So what the Germans, Austrians, Swiss, and English do in Central Europe is when they're a little bit suspicious at the end of a chimney sweep that there might be an issue with the flue, safety issue, a breach in the walls somewhere allowing heat or gases to emit through to an adjacent wood structure and cause a potential fire, they run a camera up, they scan it. If they're still suspicious, then they'll put this device on. And let me tell you how it works. They take a foam block and they put it in the top of the chimney. They take a foam block and they put it in the bottom of the chimney. And the bottom foam block has a 1.5-inch hole in it, and they insert a PVC pipe that attaches to this several $1,000 German technology device, which is an air compressor, air pump, and pressure gauge all built into one. And it puts a light positive pressure, 40 pascals of pressure, which I don't even know how to describe how light that is. But if you took your hand 15 inches from your mouth and blew on it, like you're blowing up a balloon, it's probably about that much pressure. So it's very, very light pressure. And they pressurize the chimney and they measure the drawdown or the leakage rate that's happening, and they know how much air they're pushing in because it's going through a meter, and they measure how much, and to hold a certain pressure, how much air is going into that cavity in order to maintain a certain pressure, because you can never have really a perfectly airtight system unless it was maybe a brand new Class A chimney and there was no connector pipe in there, and you've blocked it and it was an airtight system, like a Jeremiah's positive pressure system, that would probably hold a very high pressure. But our normal systems in America, we don't know what they hold. In Germany, we know what they hold. We know what the known leakage rate. It's like 0.003 cubic meters per minute is a permissible leakage rate. So anything higher than that, it flags and says right on the screen, this chimney has failed. And there's a little handheld IR printer. You wave it. It's IR, so it's like Bluetooth, and you wave it near the front of the machine and push print, and it goes, tears. It prints out a little receipt about 3 inches long with the name of the business at the top. You tear it off like a Costco-style receipt, and it says, this business has evaluated this chimney at this address, and it is pass or fail. So that would be pretty sweet. The inventor in Germany, he said, this is the only objective machine-based method of telling a customer their chimney is safe or is good or not. It's the only way. And think about it, Ray. In America, we put a camera on a stick and we say, I didn't see anything, so I think you're safe. And the customer's like, are you sure you saw everything? And the tech's like, I think I did. And I think you won't burn your house down. So that's what we do in America. Over there, they put a machine on it.
And read the terms and conditions of the back of our invoice. Press
hard, 2 copies. Exactly right. Yeah, you can't sue me after you sign this. So that's what we do in America. And we burn down 3,000 to 4,000 homes a year in the U.S., and that's a nice low average directly related to our chimney industry. In Germany, he thought they burned one house down last year. 87 million population. They burned one house down because of their industry fault, some issue. So that's pretty impressive. One house for 87 million. In America, we burn down 3,000 conservatively every 12 months for 330 million population. So we're definitely cowboys. That's the way they refer to us in Central Europe. Americano, you cowboy. And by cowboy, it's not a positive phrase. They mean
It's the
you're a
Wild
little
West.
wild. You're a little wild. Like you're okay with burning down a few houses here and there. You're a cowboy. So yeah.
So let's say it doesn't pass. If it doesn't pass, are you going to fix it by either relining it, or are you going to fix it by to doing some kind of either fire guard or heat shield or some kind of chimney repair method?
Yeah, you draw upon your resource list of methods for repair. It's just another tool in the chimney sweeps belt. This is not a silver bullet that's going to come to America and change everything in America. It's just another tool. It's like having an IR camera. An IR camera does not change or revolutionize home inspection, but it sure helps the home inspector in a certain situation trying to figure out why this wall is so cold. He can take out an IR gun on a cold day when the interior is warm, and he can identify, like one inspector did in my community. He found there was a window that had been siding on the outside, drywall on the inside. They never removed a window, and someone had just drywalled over the front. And the new homeowner bought the home and didn't even know why it was so cold in the corner until finally he called a guy out and found out there was a window. So they cut open the wall. There's a window there. So then they framed it in. They applied the R13. Yeah, marvelous, right? So it's another tool in our tool belt to tell us, hey, this chimney might be bad.
I tell you what, that's amazing, by the way. It's a shame. I bet you could probably go out there and tell them that it failed, and then they'd just be like, well, I'm going to burn it anyways.
Yes, that's right. And did that happen in your area? It happens in our service areas.
All the service areas. I mean, if you think we're cowboys, our customers are cowboys. I mean, real cowboys.
Still have the hats and boots on, huh?
Yeah. I'm going to burn it anyways.
Yep, that's right. Yeah, it's unfortunate. And you know, maybe we could talk about on another future podcast, but we could talk about the certifications for and the qualifications of what it takes to become a chimney sweep in the U.S.
If you have a website of your certification, then what I might do is put in the AI bot and let your certification, Chimney Safety
compare against
Institute,
the others. There we go.
National Chimney Sweep Guild, and NFI, put all of them into one and let it just start spitting out stuff.
That sounds great.
I'd only do it if CSIA, NFI, and National Chimney Sweep Guild said, yeah, go ahead and do it. Yeah, that'd be fun. At least they'll be talking about it.
That'd be great.
Well, it was great to have you on the show, by the way. Any need of getting into the franchise type business of the chimneys, they know where to go.
There you go.
You're a smart and very good guy. So it was good talking to you and good to have you on the show. And thank you so much.
My pleasure. Thank you, Ray. Cheers, and same to you.
All right, bye-bye. Bye.